Hey YouTube, I'm Kishan and in this video we'll be designing this awesome taxi dashboard. So this is built on React and this is also responsive and this has also got some animations. So let me reload this. So these are the scroll reveal animations and you can see that there is also animation on this chart when it loads. Okay, and there are also links are animated here on the sidebar. Now let me show you the hover effects of the dashboard. So this is the sidebar and we hover over this links. We have this awesome effect. Now when we hover over this analytics card, we have this effect. This is the FAQ section. This is the navbar, and when we type here in the search bar, it has this custom font and custom color. Then when we hover over this chart, we have this custom tooltip here. Also this has got some hover effects. This also has the hover effect. And now this is the profile section, and when we hover over this image, we have this zoom effect. So this template is also responsive. Let me show you that. Let me switch over to the mobile mode and reload it. Yeah, so this has also got the responsive navbar. You can see that. And this also manages the state. Whenever we have clicked on any of this link, it will remember on which link we have clicked. Okay, so this is the mobile version. As you can see, it is completely responsive. Let me increase the size now. Let me reload this so you can see the animations. Okay, now let me switch over to the tablet mode. So this is how it looks on the tablets. Let me switch over to the iPad Pro. Okay, let me increase the size. Yeah. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's start designing this awesome dashboard. So now I'm into my VS Code and I have opened a new terminal. I will set up the React app by npx create react app, sorry for this, and the name of our React application, which is taxi dashboard. Hit enter. It will set up our React app with basic template. This might take time depending upon your network conditions. I'll skip this part when it ends, to which it ends. So now our React application has been successfully set up. Now we will move inside the directory by cd taxi dashboard, and now we'll add some dependencies by yarn add. First of all, we need React icons. This is an icon library. Then we need recharts for the charts. Then we need scroll reveal for the animations, and we will be using style components for styling our components. Then hit enter to install the dependencies. Now while it is installing, open this folder. Inside the source, I have pasted this assets folder which have the images we need for the project. You can find this images from the link in the description of the video. Now I will close this, and we don't need this app.css file. We will delete it. Then this app.test.js, logo.svg, report webvitals.js, and the setup.test.js. And inside the index.js, we'll remove this clutter code, and we will also remove this import, save it, and inside the app.js we will just delete the entire component, the text of the component, and we'll write it again by rfc, and inside this div we'll write hello. This is for just for the demo. And now let's start the application to test if everything is working fine. If it is, we should see a hello on the screen. Okay, so it is working. Now let's set up our basic components. So inside the source folder we'll be creating a new folder named as components. We'll first have the sidebar.jsx. I'll write rfc to create the component, save it. Now we need the dashboard.jsx. I'll again write rfc. This process would be same, I won't be saying it again. Now we need navbar.jsx. We need analytics.jsx. Then we have faq.jsx. Then we have earnings.jsx. Then we have transfers.jsx. Then we have profile.jsx. Then we will be using an reusable styles component for some reusable styles. So we'll write reusable styles.jsx. We don't need to write the rfc here because it won't be a component, it would be just exporting some style component styles. So that's pretty much it. We don't need any other components now. Now head over to app.js, and here we will first import the styled from styled components. Then we will be importing the dashboard. Then we will also import the sidebar, and here we'll be creating a style component named as div. Make sure that style components are always in capital letters. The first letter is always capital. We'll replace this with the div, and now inside we will write sidebar and dashboard. Save it. So let's refresh our application. So there are no errors here now. Now we will head over to our browser and we will go to fonts.google.com to grab the fonts. Now we need a Montserrat. It is Montserrat, yeah, this one. And we will be picking up the light 300, then the 400 and the 500. Okay, and we will also grab another font which is permanent marker. So there is only one style here. Copy this. We'll import this in the index.css at the top of everything. We'll paste it, and now we'll copy this font family, and instead of this font family and this text we will paste it. Now we will also copy this font family and paste it here, and just we will comment it for the purpose. When we will need it, we'll copy it from here. We'll also delete this margin, save it. We'll delete this code, and now we'll first reset all these styles by margin of 0, padding of 0, and the box sizing would be border box. Save it. And now we'll also provide a background color to the body, which would be black. Okay, so that's done. So the color is applied. Now our base styling is completed. Now we will start styling our sidebar. So now let's head over to the sidebar.jsx, and here first we will import styled from styled components. Save it. We will also be needing the use effect and use state. This won't be used now, but when we will be doing responsive styling and we need the responsive navbar, this would be use state would be used then, and when we will add the animations, then we will need the use effect hook. So now I'm just gonna paste some icons here. You can copy it from the screen, or you can copy it from the description from the GitHub link. Copy these icons. You can pause the video and copy this. And now first we will create a style component named as section is equals to styled dot section. Save it. And here instead of this divs, we are going to use this react empty fragments, and inside it we'll be using the section style component. Save it. And now inside this we have a div with a class name of top. Inside it we have a div with a class name of brand, and here we will use the F8 taxi icon which we have imported here. Then we will write a span with text as my taxi. This would all be in caps. Then after this div we have another div with a class name of toggle. For now we will keep this div as empty, and when we'll style the responsive navbar, we will have the icons here. Then after this div we have the links div. Inside the links we have ul, and inside the li inside the ul we have the li, and inside the li we have the a tag. The href would be hashtag. Then we will write here md space dashboard, and we will have a span tag with a text as dashboard. Save it. Make sure that you leave a space here. Let's see here, it is here now. So we are going to copy this li, and we are going to paste it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So now let's change the content. So here it would be ri dashboard to fill. Then here we have the text as riders. Here the icon is FA address card. The text is payment details. Then we have GI 12 center, and the text is learning center. And this is for the FAQs. The icon would be BS fill. chart text well. Okay, save it. And we have the last one as the IO settings, and the text is settings. Save it. So these all are here now. Now after this UL and after both of this div, we have an div with a class name of logout. Inside it we have h with href as hashtag, and the icon is fi logout, and we have the span with a class name of logout. The text is logout. Save it. So we have all the content here. Now we have to style the navbar. So I'm going to split the screen now. So the screen has been splitted, and now you can see what changes I make over here. So now in here we'll first give it a position of fixed, then we'll give it a left of 0, save it, and we'll give it a background color of hashtag 212121, save it. Now let's give it a height of 100 viewport height and a width of 18 viewport width. Now let's give it a display of flex direction of column, align items of center, and justify content of space between. Save it. Now we are going to give it a padding of 2 rem to top and bottom and 0 of left and right. Now we'll also give it a gap of 2 rem. Now we'll select the top and give it a display of flex, and we'll give it a flex direction of column. Now we'll give it a gap of 2 rem. Also we'll give it the width of 100%. Now we'll select the toggle, and for the laptops and the monitors we don't need to display that. We'll just switch it back to block when we are in the responsive mode. Then we'll select the brand. We'll give it the width of 100%. Then we'll give it a display of flex. We need to give it a justify content of center and align items of center. Now we will also give it a gap of 2 rem. You can see that changes here. Now we will select the SVG and give it a color of the yellow, which is FFC107. Okay, we'll also give it a font size to the SVG, which is 2 rem. Save it. Now we'll select the span. We'll give it a font size of 2 rem as well. We'll give it the color. We'll copy the color from here, and we need the font family which we have used here. We'll copy this and move to the sidebar page, and we'll paste it. We'll uncomment it and save it. So you can see that the styles have been applied. Now let's style the links. We'll select the links. We'll give it a display of flex, justify content of center. We'll select the UL inside this and give it a list style type of none. Then we'll select the display of flex and flex direction of column. We'll also give it a gap of 1 rem to have spaces in between. Now we'll select the li, and all the li have 0.6 rem padding of top and bottom, 0.6, and 1 rem of left and right. Save it. Now we'll also give it a border radius of 0.6 rem, and when we hover over this, we want the background color to this yellow color, and the text inside the A should be of color black. Save it. Now let's hover. Yeah, the effect is working. We need to style the A inside the li. So first we'll give it a text decoration of none, so it removes the underline. Now we'll give it a display of flex, gap of 1 rem, and a color of white. Color of white. Save it. Yeah, it's looking good. Now we'll also have an active class here. The background color for the active would be hashtag FFC107, which is the yellow color, and the A inside it would have the color of black. We have not given the color yet, the class yet, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the li and give it a class name of active here. So initially the first would be selected, and whenever we select any of this, the state would change and that would be selected. As you can see here, we can select this. So let's do that functionality as well. So what we are going to do is we are going to define a state which would hold the current link. So we'll write const current link and set current link is equals to use state, and initially the first would be selected, and now inside all the li's, instead of providing this class name, what we are going to do is we'll write the curly braces. Let me do one thing. Let me select all the instances of this li. Okay, so all the li's have been selected. We'll write class name is equals to current link triple equals to 1, and if it is 1, then we'll provide the active class, or we don't want to provide anything. If it is not 1, we'll just have the empty string. And why are we having an error here? Let me see that. So this need one parent element. Okay, we have done something wrong here. I think we made mistakes here. We'll select all the active and close it. Okay, save it. Now what we'll also do is we'll select the li's again, And now we have an on click handler, and inside this we'll pass an arrow function and set current link as the 1. Okay, so now we are gonna change this numeric values to the number of li it is. So this would be 2, this would be 3, this would be 4, this would be 5, and the last one, which is 6. We'll save this, and as you can see, we are maintaining the state of the navbar now. So that is completed. Now all that's left is to style this logout button. So after this, we are gonna leave here, and we'll write logout. We need padding of 0.3 rem to top and bottom, and left and right of 1 rem. We'll give it a border radius of 0.6 rem. Then when we hover over it, we want the background color to be red, which is DA0037, and the A inside it would have the text decoration of none. Then it has a display of flex, align items of center, justify content of flex start, and a color of white. Save it. Now let's hover over this. So yes, everything is working. So our sidebar is completed now. Now we are going to design this navbar. So for doing that, we'll make first the changes in the dashboard.jsx. So now we'll style this navbar. So head over to this dashboard.jsx. Inside this, first we'll import the style from the style components. Let's create an const of section. Const section is equals to style dot section, and we'll be replacing this with the section. Now inside this section, we will import the navbar. It is. The auto import is not working. Navbar. Let me open this file here, and now let's auto import. Yeah, we have to open that file in order to auto import. Then we will have an grid. Then we have the row 1. Similarly, we have the row 2, and inside the row 1 we will have our analytics and FAQ. Let's open that. FAQ, analytics. So analytics and FAQ. Sorry, it should be here. And inside the row 2 we have our earnings, transfers, and profile. So let's open that. Transfers, profile, earning. So here we have the earnings, earning. Okay, it's not auto importing. I think there is some issue with the auto import. Transfer, yeah, transfers are there. Then we have the profile. Let's try again for the earnings. earnings. Let's import it here. Earnings. Save it. Let's see. Yeah, there's no error here. Yeah, let's head over to the navbar now, and inside the navbar, uh, first we'll import the styled. Import styled from style components. Let's create a nav. Const nav is equals to styled dot nav. We'll replace the nav, and inside the nav we have this title which says hi Kishan. This can be your name here. H1. Welcome to my taxi dashboard. So now after this div, we have another div with class name of search. Inside this we have an input of type text, and we'll be giving it a placeholder of search. Save it. Also now we'll need an icon from react icons, which is bs search from react icons. Save it, and we'll use this icon here, bi search. Save it. Now let's head over here, and okay, we have to write /bi here. The navbar is here, you can see that. Okay, so initially we have to style our dashboard first, so let's do that. Head over to dashboard.jsx, and inside this section here we'll first give it a margin left of 18 viewport width. Save it, and we'll give it a padding of 2 rem. We'll give it a height of 100%. Save it. Now let's see. Yeah, everything is perfect now. So let's head over to the navbar.jsx and style it further. So here, let me split the screen. We'll write display, not dispatch, display of flex. Then we'll give it a justify content of space between. Save it. Now we'll use a color of white. Title H1. Select the span. Margin left of 0.5 rem. So the color would be the yellow, which is FFC107. Save it. Yeah, it's there, and we'll give it a letter spacing of 0.2 rem. We will need this font family of my taxi. We're gonna grab it from the sidebar. So sidebar.jsx, and we'll copy this, head over to the navbar, and we'll paste it here. Okay, yeah, it's working now. So we have to style this search button here, search section. So we'll write search. We'll first give it a background color, which is 212121. Then we will give it a display of display flex. Then we'll give it a align items. Items of center. Then we'll write a gap of 1 rem. Okay. So after this gap, we'll write padding of 1 rem, each rem, 1 rem, and again 1 rem. Save it. Now we are going to give it a border radius of 1 rem. Then we'll select the SVG and apply this color inside the SVG. Save it. Now we'll select the input, give it a background color of transparent. It's input, not input. Then we'll select the border and give it a none. Then we are gonna paste that color here. We will also do the same for the placeholder. Then we'll grab this font family and paste it over here. Now we are going to give it a letter spacing of 0.3 rem. It's 0.3 rem. Save it. Yeah, that's looking good. Now we are also going to select the outline on the focus event. On focus, we'll select the outline and give it a display of none. So you can see that it is working fine now. Okay, so our navbar is completed now. So next we are gonna create this analytics card. So head over to the VS Code and the dashboard.jsx. First we are gonna style this grid and row 1. So now inside the dashboard.jsx, inside the styled, we'll select the grid and we'll give it a display of flex direction of column and a height of its height of 100%. Then we are going to give 1 rem of gap, margin top of 2 rem. Then we'll select the row 1. We'll give it a display of grid template columns of repeat to 1fr. Then we are going to select height, give it a 50%. Then we will give a gap of 1 rem. Now select row 2 and give it a display of grid. We are going to copy that from here. Let's copy all of this. And instead of 2 in the repeat, we are going to give it a 3. So that's all. So that's the grid styling. Now head over to the analytics.jsx card, analytics.jsx, and here first we are going to import styled. We'll create a const section is equals to style.section. Now we are gonna replace this with section, and we are gonna import some icons. Bs fill. Let's do one thing. I'll just import the icons so that doesn't waste your time. You can copy that from the video. So first let's head over to the reusable styles and create a reusable style. So here we are gonna import css from styled components. Then we'll export a const of card style is equals to css and then the backtext. We'll give it a padding of 1 rem, 2 rem, 3 rem and 2 rem. Now we are going to give it a border radius of 1 rem. We'll give it a background color of 212121. We'll give it a color of white. Save it. That's all. We'll close this and import that over here. Import from the reusable styles. We are gonna need the okay, it's not showing. That was card style. Yeah, okay, that's all. Now I'm just gonna pause the video and import the icons. You can copy that. So I have imported this 4 icons. You can copy this. Just pause the video and you can type this. So now let's write our markup. Here we have an div with an analytic class. We have content. We'll write h5 spent this month, h2 $682.5. Then after this div we have logo. We are gonna use bs fill calendar to week fill. Save it. And we have the analytic again, content and the logo. Let's just copy this, paste it 2 times, and this time here we have the logo on the first and same goes for the last one. Let's have the logo here, which is IO stat start. The content would be h5 earnings, h2 $350.40. Here the content would be I think h5 new clients, and h2 that would be 321, and the logo would be first. The logo is bi group, not search, sorry, group, and here the logo is at last. The logo is fi activity. Content would be h5 activity, h2 $540.50. Save it. Okay, the analytics cards are here, but due to color it's not visible. So let's split the VS Code and style this component now. So we'll first give it a display of grid template columns of repeat to 1 fr, then we'll give it a gap of 1 rem. Now let's select the analytic it's not analytics, it's analytic. Then we'll apply the card style. We'll give it a padding of 1 rem. Let's give it a color. No, not the color. What I'm thinking is, yeah, no need to apply the color. Yeah, it's already here. Display of flex, justify content space evenly. Now we are gonna give it align items of center, gap of 1 rem. We'll select the transition property and we will give 0.5 seconds ease in out. Save it, and when we hover over this, we are going to give it a background color of the yellow, which is FFC107. Then we'll give it a color of black, and the SVG would have the color of white. Okay, that's working. Now let's select the logo. We'll give it a background color of black. We'll give it a border radius of 3 rem. Then we'll give it a display of flex, justify content center, align items of center. This is center. We'll give it a padding of 1.5 rem. Yeah, that's visible now, and we're gonna select the SVG, give it a font size of 1.5 rem. Yeah, that's looking good now. Let's compare it with this. Yeah, so our analytic card is completed. Now we are gonna create this FAQ. Head over to the VS Code, maximize this, and head over to faq.jsx. So I have already imported the icons here, the styled, the card styles. You can pause the video and import them by yourself. Also, I have created this demo data of FAQs. This is an array of objects which has an icon and a text property. You can pause this video and write this content by yourself. Okay, so now let's write the const section is equals to style.section. Save it, and we will replace this with section. We'll write the title, h2, information for drivers. Then we'll write FAQs, and we will map the FAQs with the JSX content. We'll have the FAQ here. We are going to return dot FAQ info. Inside the info we have the icon, we have the h4 faq.text, and after this div we have ios arrow forward, save it. That should be here. Yeah, the content is here. So the markup is complete. Now let's style this. We'll first apply the card style. Then we will select the title, select the h2. So I'll just go to the analytics here, and not analytics, we'll go to the Navbar, and we are going to copy this from the input, the color, the font family, and the letter spacing, and inside the FAQ we'll paste it here. Okay, then we have the FAQs, display flex direction of column, gap of 1 rem, and a margin top, not bottom, top of 1 rem. Then we'll select the FAQ, give it a display of flex, align items of center, justify content of space between, cursor of pointer. Yeah, that's looking good. Select the info, give it a display of flex, gap of 1 rem, align items of center, select the SVG, give it a font size of 1.4 rem. Yeah, and we'll select the ampersand nth of type. This is gonna be 2. We'll give it a border top of 0.001 rem, solid, and the color would be 6E. Yeah, copy this, and this time it should be border bottom, and now we are going to give it a padding of 0.8 rem and 0. Yeah, that's looking good, and these both are identical. So our FAQ section is also completed. Now we are going to create this earnings card. Head over to the VS Code. So now let's head over to the earnings card. I have already imported the card styles, the components which we need from Recharts for the chart, and the style components. You can import this, and I have created an const of data, which is nothing but an array of objects with an data. This is random values. You can add as many as you want and write any values you want to use this. So you can copy this from the GitHub link, which is in the video's description. Now let's write the markup. First we'll gonna create the section, which is style.section, and we are gonna replace this. Now we'll write the top, then the info, h5, this month earnings H1, which is 6 682.5. Okay, 682.5. Then inside this div we have an growth div. We have the span. We'll write plus 2.45%. Then we'll leave this 3 divs and write chart. We'll use the responsive container. We'll give it the height of 100%, width of 100%. We'll use the area chart component. We'll give it a width of 500, height of 400. We'll supply the data is equals to data. Then we'll give it a margin. This would be object. Top would be 0, left would be 0, right would be 0, and bottom would be 0. Save it. And inside this area chart we have the tooltip. This is self closing, and we are gonna supply cursor as false. Then we have the area. We'll write animation begin at 800, animation duration which would be 2000 milliseconds. Then we have type of monotone, data key is data, stroke would be our yellow color which is FFC107. Then we are gonna give it a fill of 80683.233E. Then yeah, we are not gonna write the color is, so the color would be 8068233E, and we'll give it a stroke width of 4, and that's all. Yeah, so okay, so our markup is complete. Now we are going to add some CSS, display of flex, flex direction of column, justify content of center, no not center, we are going to use it space between. We'll give it a min height of 20 rem. We'll apply the card styles, card style. Then we'll give it a padding of 2 rem 0 0 0 0. Save it. And now we are gonna select the chart and give it a height of 70%. Okay, the chart is visible. Now we are going to style this tooltip. So for that we'll select recharts dash default dash tooltip. This is the class of the rechart charts. We are going to override this by background color of black, and we're going to apply the important property, so that would be overridden, and we'll also supply border color of black with the important property. Save it. Yeah, now it's looking good. We just need to style this. So for that we'll select the top, select the info, give it a display of flex direction of column, align items of center, gap of 0.3 rem, select the h1, give it a font size of 2 rem, then we'll select the growth and we'll give it a background color of D7 E41 E1D, then E1D, not S. Then we'll give it a padding of 0.5 rem. We'll give it a border radius of 1 rem. We'll give it a transition of 0.3 seconds, ease in out 0.3. We'll select the hover, give it a background color of the yellow, which is FFC107. We'll select the span, give it a color of black, and outside this we'll also select the span and give it a color of the yellow. Okay, so when we hover over this we have this yellow color. Okay, so our card earnings is completed. Now we are going to create this transfers. So head over to the VS Code. So now head over to the transfers.jsx, and here I have already imported this. This is not the file. Yeah, this one. So I have imported here all of this components we need and the avatar image we need. Then I have this transactions array of objects for the data. You can type this by yourself. Now I'm going to create the section is equals to style.section, and I'm going to replace it here, save it, and inside here first we are going to have the title. Inside the title we have h2 which says your transfers. After the title we are going to have the transactions, and inside we are going to map the transactions.map. We are going to need the transaction from here, and we are going to return the JSX. So first we need the transaction div. Inside the transaction we have transaction title. Inside the transaction title first we have the transaction title image, then we are going to have the image tag, and inside the image src we are going to have the transaction dot image. Save it, transaction image. Then after this div we have the transaction title details. Here we are going to have an h3 which says transaction.name. We are going to copy this, paste it afterwards, and we are going to replace this by h5, and here we are going to write transaction dot time. Save it, and after leaving this 2 divs, we are going to have another div with transaction amount, and inside here we have the span, and it should have transaction dot amount. So that's all. Yeah, the data, it's not visible because of this large image. We're going to fix that. So let me shorten this side, and now let's style this. Okay, before styling this, there's still one thing that's left. There's an anchor tag with the href of hashtag and with a class name of view. Inside this we'll write view all, and we are going to say that hi arrow right. Yeah, that's all. Now let's style this. First we are going to apply the card styles, then let's select the transaction, not the transaction, transactions. Inside it we are going to select the transaction, then we are going to select the title, and we are going to select the image. We'll give the image of height of 2.5 rem and a border radius of 3 rem. Okay, so this is the card. Now let's style this. So first, outside of this here, we are going to give it a display of flex direction of column, gap of 1 rem, then we'll select the title, select the h2, and we'll go to the earnings card. Here we'll just copy the title. Did we write the title here? No, there's no title. We are going to copy this from the FAQ. We'll go to the FAQs and we'll find the title. Yeah, it's here. Copy this, go to the transfers, paste it. Okay, it's styled. Then we have the transactions. We'll give it a display of flex direction of column, flex direction. Why it's not working? Okay, we need to write flex direction column, and we are gonna write gap of 1 rem and a margin top of 1 rem. Yeah, now we are going to select the transaction which has been already selected, and we'll write display of flex justify content of space between, then we are going to align items of center. Let's reload this. Is it working? Okay, that's, yeah. Now select the title. We'll give it a display of flex gap of 1 rem. Okay, that is working now. Then after this we are going to select the amount, and we'll give it a background color of D7 E41 E1D. I'm sorry for that, D7 E4 1E 1D. Yeah, and now we are gonna give it a padding of 0.2 rem and 0.5 rem. We are gonna remove this ch, then we'll give it a width of 4 rem, then we'll give it a border radius of 1 rem, we'll give it a text align of center, then we'll give it a transition property of 0.3 seconds is in out, and when we hover over this, we are going to change the background color to the yellow color, and we'll select the span, give it a color of black, and the other span would have the color of yellow. Okay, so I think we have messed up with the class name of the transaction in the markup, so it should be transaction. Yeah, that's working right now. Now after this, the span will leave 4 brackets, 1 2 3 4, which is out of this. We'll select the view, we'll give the width of 100%, then we are going to give it a display of flex, justify content of flex end, and we are going to align items of center, text decoration of none, color would be the yellow, the font weight would be bold, margin top of 1 rem, gap of 0.5 rem, SVG would have a transition of 0.3 seconds is in out, and font size would be 1.4 rem. Yeah, that's good. Now when we hover over this, we want the SVG to translate x 0.5 rem. Okay, that's working. Okay, I think we have an issue with this. Let's find that. So this is the amount background color is D7 E4 1 E1D. That's right. When we hover over this, background color would be yellow, span would have a color of black, and the other span color of okay, so the issue is here. Okay, now we have the smooth effect. So our transfers card is completed, it's styled. Now all that's left is to style the profile card. Head over to the VS Code. So now head over to the profile.jsx. Here I have already imported the necessary content, which is the style from style components, image from the assets, then the React icon and the reusable styles from card styles. The card style from the reusable style. Now let's write section is equals to style.section, replacing it here, and inside here we have the image first. Inside the image we have the source as image. After this we have the title, which has h2 of name. h5 would have the icon, outline, location marker, New York, USA. Then we have the info. Inside the info we have the container, h5, days at work, h3 28, container, h5 writes, h3 427. This is h4 completed. h3 okay. Again we have the container, then we have h5 of hours and h3 of 76. This is also h5, not h4. So our markup is done. Yeah, the markup is done. Let's style it. Okay. Side here. First the card styles. Then let's select the image first and give it a height of 10 rem and the width of 10 rem. We'll give it an object fit of cover. Then we'll give it a border radius of 20 rem and a transition of 0.5 seconds is and out. Let's remove this ms, and to this parent we are going to give it a max height of 10 rem, overflow of hidden, border radius 20 rem. Yeah, now let's give it a display of flex direction of column, align items of center. Yeah, now let's have the hover. When we hover over this image, we want to give it a effect, zoom effect, transform scale 1.1. Test it. Yeah, it's working. So after this we have the title, text align of center, then we are going to select the h2 and h5. We'll go to the transfers and we are going to copy the title, which is this. Copy this, paste it here, and we are gonna select the h5, give it a letter spacing of 0.2 rem, 0.2 rem. Then we'll select the info, give it a display of flex, gap of 1 rem, select the container, text align, align of center. Why it is not working? Okay, this is info. Okay, that's great, this is working now. We should apply a gap of 1 rem. Okay, so this is working great. This is styled. Now we just have to add the media queries and the animations. So let's make this responsive. Okay, this is not, this is the completed version. So this is not styled. Okay, we have some errors here. Let's check that. Okay, each child should have a unique key prop. This is inside the FAQ. Let's fix that. And this is inside the transfer. Okay, so inside the FAQ, we'll write a key here. Key is equals to index. We'll destructure the, we'll have the index from here. Save it. The error might have been gone. Yeah, one error is gone. Now inside the transfers, let's do the same. Make sure when you are having an production application, then don't use the index as the key, because it sometimes messes. Instead of that, you should use the ID that has been written from the server. Okay, so the errors are fixed. So now let's make this responsive. So first we'll make this sidebar as responsive. Okay, so let's do that. Let's head over to the sidebar.jsx. Now inside this sidebar, what we are going to do is we are going to create a responsive nav, which is another style section. Const responsive nav is equals to styled dot this would be a nav. Okay, now here inside this responsive nav, this is not responsive container, this is responsive nav. We are going to have the state is equals to navbar state, and we'll have a class name based on that state, which is navbar state. If it's true, we are going to show, otherwise we are going to hide it. Now we have the responsive links. Inside this links, we are going to copy this UL. Yeah, this one. Copy this UL inside this. Okay. So that is done. Now here at the top, So now here I have also created this navbar state, which is initially set as false, and we have selected the HTML and stored it inside the HTML variable. Then we have added an event listener on the HTML, the click event listener, and whenever we click on any of the HTML, then we will set the navbar state to false. So that's that. And now let's have the media query inside this at media. So the media query has the viewport, yeah, media query screen, and min width 280 pixels and max width 1080 pixels. We'll give it a position initial, width of 100%, height of max content, padding of 1 rem. Then we'll select the top, give it a flex direction of row. We'll align items as center, justify content space between, padding of 0 and 1 rem. Select the toggle, display of block, color of white, Z index of 10, select the SVG, give it a font size of 1.4 rem, select the brand, give it a gap of 1 rem, and justify content of flex start. Then we'll select the top, and inside the top we will have the links, also the logout, .logout it is, and give it a display of none. Save it. Okay, that's gone. Let me, yeah, now it should be visible. Yeah, now you can see that when we click here, then the icon is being changed. Now let's have a navbar. We'll give it a position of fixed, then we'll give it a right of -10 viewport width, top of 0, then we'll select the Z index and give it 20, then we'll give it a background color of black, then we'll have a height of 100 viewport height, then what we will do is we'll give it a width. This would be based on the state, and if the state is true, then we'll give it the width of 60%, or else the width would be 0%. Okay, then we'll give it a transition which would be 0.4 seconds, is in out, then the opacity would be 0, visibility would be hidden, and padding would be 1 rem. Now let's select those responsive links, select the UL, list style type of none, display of flex direction of column, gap of 1 rem, margin top of 3 rem, select the LI, list style type of none. I think we can copy this UL from here. Where does it end? Yeah, on line 235. So we are gonna copy this, copy the whole UL, and we'll paste it here. Okay, that's it. Why it is not working? I think we missed something. Responsive links, ul li, responsive underscore links. Did we give the class name properly? Okay, this should be responsive links. Yeah, this is working fine now. So this would be fixed when we fix this whole admin dashboard. So this width is coming greater now, but when this all is completed, it would be looking much nicer. So let's do that. Okay, so our sidebar is completed. Now let's head over to the dashboard.jsx and we'll give the media query there. First we'll go down here and copy the media query, this media query, go to dashboard. At the end we'll paste this, and here we'll give it a margin left of 0. Select the grid dot row 1 dot row 2 grid template columns of 1 fr. Okay, this looks much nice. Let's fix this all. Now head over to the navbar.jsx, and at the end we are gonna paste this media query, flex direction of column dot title h1 span display of block margin of 1 rem and 0. Okay, this is looking good. The navbar is also looking good. Now we will head over to the analytics card, analytics, and not this one, that was the completed one, my bad. Here we are gonna give it a grid template columns of repeat, autofill, min max of 220 pixels of 1 fr. Save it, and we'll select the analytic, select the nth of type 3. We just need the 1. We copy this, paste it, and select the 4th. Give it a flex direction of row reverse. Okay, this should have worked. Okay, this is analytic. Why it's not working? Okay, analytic. Okay, now it's working. Then let's head over to the FAQ, and here at the end we need to copy that media query again. Copy FAQ, paste at the last, select the SVG, give it a font size of 2 rem and give it the important, save it. Yeah, that's great. Now let's head over to the earnings.jsx. Earnings, and I don't think we need any media queries here. We'll just remove this. This is perfectly responsive. Now inside this transfers we'll have a media query, transfers, we'll select the transactions, transaction, flex direction of column, align items of center, and a gap of 1 rem. Yeah, this is looking good. And inside the profile I don't think we need any media query. This is already looking great. Yeah, our navbar is also fixed, so you can see that it is auto closing, and we have this cool fade out effect. So we have completed the responsiveness of our template. Let's switch it to Galaxy S5. This is also responsive. Let's switch it to I think iPad. It is responsive. You can see that. Yeah, it is responsive. So let me reload it. Okay, so responsiveness is complete. Now let's add the animations. So for animations, head over to the sidebar.jsx first. Sidebar.jsx. So now sidebar.jsx, and inside this we will have to import the use effect hook and the scroll reveal library. Scroll reveal from scroll reveal, and here we are going to use the use effect. We'll pass the callback function. We'll select const sr is equals to scroll reveal. We'll give it an origin of left, distance of 80 pixels, duration of 2000, and a reset of false. Okay, then we are gonna use sr.reveal. We'll select the brand, then we'll select the links. Inside the links we have the UL, inside UL we have li, and we'll select nth of type, which is 1, copy, paste, 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 and paste. So we need the commas. Make sure this format is correct or the animations won't work. Then after this we have the logout, and after this we'll pass an object. The object has the opacity of 0 and interval of 300 milliseconds. So let's test it. Yeah, it's working. Let's test it this one. Yeah, both are correct. Okay, so the sidebar animations are done. Now let me copy this use effect. This would be useful, and head over to the dashboard.jsx. Inside the dashboard.jsx, we'll first import the use effect. Then the scroll reveal. Now we'll paste that. We'll just remove this, and here we'll write bottom. Everything else would be same, and the interval would be 100 milliseconds. First there would be nav, then row 1 and the row 2. Save it. Okay, so the animation is working correctly. So that's it. So our taxi dashboard has been completed. If you like this video, please like the video, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask them in the comment section, and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.